Hi everyone, we're back with another episode. Now today I want to answer a question that I received from one of my adult students actually. And I think it's a great question based on the nature of this series. It's, what do you define to be a successful martial arts school? And so I've enjoyed the interaction I've been having with my students in the past several episodes. So these guys I invited to join me today. And before I answer the question, I'm going to ask you guys a couple questions. The first is, would you define our school to be a successful martial arts school? And of course I realize they're biased and they better answer this question the way I want them to or you might not see some of them again. So of course this is going to be a completely honest, no pressure answer from these guys. All right, so what do you say?
I would say so.
Yeah? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the easy question. Now the hard question is, what do you think makes this a successful martial arts school? And this is a really important question to think about and reflect on, because if you want to open a school and you want to produce or achieve a certain result, you need to get clear on what that is. So especially for those of you like this gentleman here, who, you guys, if you've been following the series, you know he wants to have his own school. These are important questions. So what do you guys think makes this a successful school in your mind? We'll start with you and we'll go around.
I think the variety of things that we've been taught. So like, because some students that are just starting get kind of bored with just doing the same thing over and over again. So the variety helps like spread that and let them learn more things. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get to learn, you were saying earlier, the Kempo and the White Crane and the Qigong, all of that you like. And so there is a sort of an eclectic side to what we do. And there is a lot of focus on the principles behind what we're doing and a lot of work on the Kempo, at least before black belt, because the White Crane stuff is more subtle and more difficult. But once you get to be in black belt level, you can kind of choose what are the areas of focus you want to go in. So you're getting your foundation now. You are getting a flavor of the different things that are out there, so that when you're more advanced, you can pursue the areas of specific interest to you, right? I think that's what we were talking about earlier. So what do you have to say?
I think it's so successful because of how many students join and then they stay for a long time.
Right, so there's good retention. I mean, we were talking about this a couple weeks ago. We were looking at different classes, and I've been polling a lot of the classes because we've been talking about retention. And I do track those numbers, but it's interesting just on the spot. You have a group of people. I have a class of 15 people, 13 people, depending on the day. And I say, okay, how long have you guys been here? Raise your hand if you've been in martial arts for a year, 2 years. And we had one class where there were 13 people. 12 of them had been at least, what was it, 2 years. And 11 of them had been in it at least 3 years, maybe 4 years. I mean, there was a high percentage of people that had been in it 4 years or more. And there was another day when, I don't think all of you guys were there, where there was like a 15 group class, and the vast majority had been with me for 4 years. And so that's exciting to see that there are a lot of people that stick with it. And we've discussed it before. There's certain numbers that you want to look at to understand the health of your business. One of them is retention. You want to know that when you get people enrolled, you're keeping them enrolled. Otherwise, you have a problem. You're not adding the value that you should. Okay, so that's definitely something that you see, and I think it's an important factor.
I like how all the kids are entertained and they like doing karate and learning the new stuff, and they keep coming back, as Ryan said, because they love it all.
So there's the community, and I think to further elaborate, because we have been discussing this, you like the fact that the learning experience is an enjoyable one, and that's kind of what you mean by entertained, right? They're learning, but they're having fun while they're learning. It's something that you enjoy being a part of, even during the difficult times, the work, the hard training that we do. And that goes back to the community, whoever we were talking about the community. I think that was you, to start it off, and then you continued it a little bit further. So those are definitely valuable things. So what would I define to be a successful school? Well, there's no clear-cut answer. It depends on what kind of school you want to have. Now, there's certain considerations I keep in mind in measuring if I'm achieving the success I want to achieve. One is I want to have a school that's 120 to 150 students. I don't want one location that goes over 150 students, because there's research that I've read that shows that the community sort of collapses once you start to reach that number. That becomes sort of a breaking point, and genuine social interaction starts to fall apart because it's hard for us to maintain that many genuine social relationships. So you guys have mentioned the community and the role that plays. So that's a factor for me. I don't want a 300, 600 person school. But on the flip side, some people want those 300, 600,000 person schools because they want to make money. Well, I do want to make a living doing what I'm doing. I don't want to be working another job all day long and then come in tired, worn out, exhausted, trying to teach the best classes I can teach. So I want to have a school that is between 120 to 150 students, and we've been maintaining that. It depends on the time of the year. Peak time, we're 130, 140 students. And so those are the major considerations. The community is a huge consideration. Are the students getting value out of what they're learning? Are they developing the skills that they should be developing? Are they having fun while they do that? These are all the things that I consider in taking measure of if I'm achieving the success I want to achieve. So what's my answer? Well, there is no specific clear-cut definition of what is a quote-unquote successful martial arts school. You may want to have a small school. You may want to have 10 to 20 students. You might want to just offer private lessons to 1 or 2 students in particular. You may want to have 500 to 600 students. So the answer, get clear, as I said in a previous video, get clear on what it is you want and go to work taking the steps that you need to take in order to achieve that. That's what's going to determine whether or not you're successful with your martial arts school. That'll be it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you soon.